Now we all know Darkest Dungeon is a turn-based RPG, and as your characters run into dungeons, they're exposed to all sorts of dangers that await them. Now what if, let's just say your heroes just dodge out of the way instead of taking those hits? This is going to be a quick guide on how to build a party that abuses dodge, affectionately named by myself, the Dodge Squad. So I played around with a bit of different party builds, and this is the one that I found has the most sustain even at some of these higher level dungeons. From the front to the back, you're going to want to bring a man-at-arms, grave robber, houndmaster, and antiquarian. Alright, here's the idea. During the first round, you're going to get everyone's dodge as high as possible. Everyone on this team has something to boost either the party or their individual dodge stats. Then after that, you focus on bursting down each enemy at a time, while using the guard buffs from your antiquarian, houndmaster, and man-at-arms situationally in the fight. If you do this right, then the enemy will go full turns without hitting a single member of your party, which is incredibly satisfying. So what skills do you want each member of your party to bring? Well, starting from the back, the antiquarian, basically they just want to be buffing dodge and also do a little bit of party healing. You're going to want to bring invigorating vapors, fortifying vapors, and protect me. At the start of the battle, use invigorating vapors to buff everyone, and try to use it when possible. If your antiquarian takes damage, protect me is a great way to get another party member to guard while also boosting their dodge. Lastly, the fortifying vapors will be heals just in case somebody gets hit and they do need to be healed up. Next up is the houndmaster, which you want to bring guard dog, lick wounds, target whistle, and hound's rush. Now the houndmaster's main job is to mark enemies and protect any of your party members that get hurt. Guard dog also boosts its own dodge stat, which can really save low health units. The Houndmaster can get quite a bit of damage in with Hound's Rush as long as the target is marked, which can burst enemies down very effectively. Lastly, Lick Wounds is a good way to heal just in case an enemy does hit your Houndmaster and you want a bit more sustain here. Then second from the front, we've got the Grave Robber, who you want to bring Shadow Fade, Throne Dagger, and Toxin Trickery. At the start of the battle, you want to use Shadow Fade, which will send the Grave Robber to the back, but also not only boosts the dodge, but as well as their damage. And you've probably guessed it, but the Grave Robber is going to be your main source of damage. If you combo this with the mark from the Houndmaster, your Grave Robber can do massive damage really quickly with the Throne Dagger. Now it's up to you whether you want to bring Pick to the Face or Poison Dart as your last skill. Either or works. Make sure you reset at the end of the battle though, otherwise your Grave Robber will be out of position for the next one and you can't start off with Shadow Fade as per usual. And the lovely man in the front is going to be your man-at-arms, who basically you just want to bring Defender and Bolster. On the first turn, you want to use Bolster, which will give your party dodge for the battle, which is always good, and then have Defender in your back pocket, just in case a unit does fall low. Protection is still really OP, and even if your man-at-arms does take damage, it will greatly reduce it. As for other abilities, it's ultimately up to you whether you want to build him more defensive or offensive to support the Grave Robber and Houndmaster. I tend to usually go offensive because I like clearing the board a little bit faster and then focus on heals afterwards. Okay, so Trinkets. Now, as you can imagine, the Trinkets are going to be based around increasing dodge for almost everyone if possible. And while you can give each hero 2 dodge trinkets, I like to give them just 1 dodge trinket and then another to kind of match their role in this composition. But first, here are all the dodge trinkets. Be careful, some of them only activate when certain conditions are met. For example, moon stuff, you need low light, or the sun stuff, you need lots of light. Okay, here are the trinkets. There's a lot. Get ready. You've got the Slippery Boots, Deteriorating Bracer, Camouflage Cloak, Dark Bracer, Shimmering Cloak, Solar Bracer, Tenacity Ring, Feather Crystal, Moon Cloak, Sun Cloak, Bag of Marbles, Lucky Talisman, Agility Whistle, Protective Collar, Sly Eye Patch, Overture Box, Tempting Goblet, Ancestor's Candle, Ancestor's Coat, Wilbur's Flag, and the Molted Wing Feather. Personally, I like the Feather Crystal, Overture Box, Wilbur's Flag, and the Molted Wing Feather. All of these are kind of higher end trinkets, but they're all very effective. Now for the other trinkets, for the Antiquarian, I want to make sure that they have a healing trinket such as Jania's Head, the Chirurgeon's Charm, Ancestor Scroll, or the Candle of Life. Candle of Life is kind of broken on the Antiquarian because it boosts by 50% healing, which is probably the most you can get in the game, and also too, it does increase its HP pool just to give it a little bit more sustain. Now, the Grave Robber and the Houndmaster each get a damage trinket, which could include the Legendary Bracer, Damage Stone, Warrior's Bracer, Berserk Charm, Dismas Head, Ancestor's Pen, and Wolf's Tassel. Preferred trinkets here are the Legendary Bracer and also the Wolf's Tassel, especially too if the Houndmaster is going to be marking people. The Wolf's Tassel just boosts both the damage and the critical percentage, which is awesome. And for the Man-at-Arms, I like to give him a protection trinket. I think it just works out well, and this can include the Protection Stone, Tough Ring, Barston's Head, and the Ancestor's Ring. I do like Barston's Head and usually put that on my Man-at-Arms. So I have a couple of caveats for this party, which is a little new for this video, but that's totally fine. So noteworthy to mention is that there is a real lack of healing, as you can imagine, in this party build. It's kind of built around dodging, but you will take hits inevitably, and especially too when you're first getting your dodge buffs up, this can be really punishing if some of the higher level enemies do massive damage to key members really early on. So pay attention to things like enemies that can buff accuracy, because they're ultimately going to be your worst enemy. Now the good thing about bringing an antiquarian is that this will also be a really good money farm. So if you're looking for an easy way to get money with maybe not some so powerful units, this is always an option. Be wary of the dark though. I did a dark run with this party, and while it worked, the darkness does increase enemy accuracy and critical chance, which could be devastating for your team. And that's going to wrap up this quick tutorial. So let me know what you think about this party. I know other people build their dodge squads differently, so let me know down in the comments what you would change. As always, thank you for all of the love on my previous videos. Feel free to subscribe to this channel and leave a like if this was helpful to you. Seriously, I can't believe how many views I've gotten over the last couple of weeks, honestly, on some of these Darkest Dungeon videos. You can also follow me on Twitch and Twitter with the links below or the names just on the screen. But once again, seriously, thank you for all of the support, everyone.